when you mentioned about, where you were when we started, do you remember what your weight was at the time? Do you remember any of the starting off points of where you were at?
Yeah, so
I've got them here.
My weight, yeah, my weight was 102.8 kilos, I think, from memory, which was kind of verging on roughly my kind of heaviest. So I don't know, I probably had like a psychological barrier of about 105 was where I was like, right, sort yourself out now.
Okay.
And then I would do that for a period of time, get myself to anywhere 98, 97, and think, okay, good. That was at a point where like you'd notice it, and maybe I'd fit into what I'd call my middle to left hand side of my wardrobe. So my wardrobe is split into like thin, okay, and my fatter side. And I have certain shirts, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, no, that's when I was in that good time and stuff. So yeah, 102.8, and I don't think I had any real expectations when I started.
You're pretty open-minded, I remember.
Sorry?
You're pretty open-minded about like the pace that things would go at. You were just like, I want to make a change, but you didn't have ideas.
Yeah, and I'm a super competitive person, and so actually for once I didn't want to compete with myself. I didn't want to set myself a figure initially, because I actually wanted to try and make a like sustained change, as we've said, like an actual shift that didn't want to think I am going on another diet. I wanted to think I'm going to find something that will change me full stop. And yes, obviously we're in a weight loss stage, and that's fine. But I can already see how when we reach targets that I probably am now setting, because things are going well, and I'm excited by what I can now achieve. But I do see a future that is going to be maintainable, and certainly that future is not going to be a three-figure future.
I mean, we're in week 9 right now of 16 weeks, and you're down to 92.3 as of last weekend when you did your last measurements and weigh in.
Yeah.
So it's a 10.5 kg drop in 9 weeks. It's predominantly kind of consistent. You've had some better weeks, you've had some slower weeks, but you've been moving continuously in the right direction. And just to give people an idea, it's like, without like breaking down food photographs and getting those out and sharing a screen, you tell me in your own words, what has the dietary approach been like? Do you feel like it's a hugely restrictive diet? Do you think like it's a bit more of a flexible approach?
Yeah, I mean, certainly not restrictive. We're not calorie counting or any of that. Concerns that I've been there, done that, and that's honestly not sustainable. Weighing out food,
the old Tupperware treatment.
Laying it all out. I mean, I'm sure it works for some people. I'm not organised in my life full stop, so certainly organising food for days on end is not high on my list. So the approach has really just been, 2 good meals, a nice lunch and nice dinner. Yes, I've cut the snacking, but actually I have no cravings for the snacks. And that's just through, the fact that my body's in a different place now, doesn't need them. I think when we maybe first started speaking, I was worried about what you're going to cut and worried about where it's going to go. And I think actually, if I look back now, like I used to drink squash, and I liked squash, and I drank quite a lot, and I always thought that was fine. And so when you said no squash, I was like, oh, I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. But actually, I've had no squash since that day, and I don't miss it. I have my water. I like sort of sparkling water, so I drink a lot of that. And I honestly don't feel like I'm missing anything. And I remember I said to you a couple of weeks ago, I did like a little test. So I drove myself down to the village shop, and I like walked round and looked at all my old favourite biscuits and sweets just to see if like anything was going to say eat me, and it didn't. So we're all good there.
Big change there.